Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. As I am recording this video, it is about, I guess, 10:30, 11 o'clock. And as soon as I'm done with this hike, I gotta go get washed up and we gotta get going. Like most people, I think our Thanksgiving festivities kick off in the early afternoon. And so I'm just wondering, what do you guys do with the magas you might encounter on Thanksgiving? Because this is one of those situations where, you know, extended family get together, maybe family that you only see on Thanksgiving or in the holidays, generally speaking, and you don't talk to them every day, and maybe they're MAGA. And most MAGAs are fucking obnoxious, right? They can't keep their damn mouths shut. And since they're part of a cult, and they spend so much of their life, like seriously, they spend so much of their every single day just thinking about Donald Trump. I mean, it is really, I mean, I have to think about this piece of shit because it's part of my work. But these people don't get paid to think about Trump and analyze what this criminal piece of shit is doing. They just think about him because they're in a cult. They have adopted Donald Trump as part of their own identity. Being a part of Trump's cult is like the most important thing to a lot of these people. And because that's the case for many of them, they just can't keep their damn mouths shut about him. And they might have been obnoxious people to begin with. I think MAGA has a way of attracting those kinds of people. But even if they weren't, once they get swept up in MAGA, they become like the rest of these MAGAs, which is obnoxious, which is just in your face, which are just nasty. They look to instigate things with other people. And so you might have some of these people at your Thanksgiving dinner. Now, how do you deal with them? Do you have any of these people? Are they your family? Are they maybe friends who are there? Are they in-laws? Who are these people to you, and how do you deal with them? I mean, many people have just cut these MAGAs out of their life. Like, I don't tell people what to do. I don't even suggest to other people what they should do. It's none of my business. We all got to make these decisions for ourselves, right? I know some people have decided, I can't deal with this. I don't want any of these MAGAs in my life. And for whatever reason, maybe they had run-ins, they had one too many fights over politics with these friggin' MAGA relatives. They just say, I'm done. Yeah, if you ever wake the hell up and leave the cult and come back to the world of the sane, then maybe we can resume having a relationship. But until then, I just don't want you in my life. I can't have this negativity. I can't have this hatred in my life. So you're out. There's a lot of people who have lost relationships over this. And it obviously works in reverse also. A lot of MAGAs have cut off other people because they're not MAGA. So that's one way to deal with it. Other people have just reached this place where we don't talk about politics. They're MAGA. They know I hate Trump, and we just make a point never to talk politics. And for some people, that works. Now, for some people, I don't know. Maybe you just can't avoid it with some of these friggin' MAGAs. You haven't reached this place where they've agreed to keep their damn mouth shut, and you haven't taken the step to say, you know what, I'm cutting you out of my life, or I'm not going to show up to an event if you're there. And so you find yourself in these situations with MAGA friends, or I don't know how you could be a friend with a MAGA. I know for some people, family relationships are different. I don't know how anyone can still be friends with a MAGA, but I know people are. They've been friends their whole life and they just can't cut them out. But whatever. Again, to each their own. But you may find yourself at Thanksgiving or at Christmas or whatever, and these MAGAs are there, and they don't keep their fucking mouths shut, and they're obnoxious. What do? If they bring up shit at the Thanksgiving table, what do you do? Do you confront them? Do you point out their obvious bullshit? Do you call them out on their lies or their bigotry or whatever the hell comes out of their stupid faces? Do you do that, or are you just like, all right, I'm just gonna bite my tongue, I'm not gonna say anything, pass me the fucking potatoes? I mean, is that what you do? You just do your best to ignore it? And because I find that a lot of people, a lot of decent people do that. They're like, I'm not gonna make a stink. And what happens is, and this is the problem, this is a problem with politics, generally speaking, is that the decent people keep their mouth shut, and the only ones talking are the fucking magas. I'll tell you the problem with that, though, is because not everyone is either normal and sees the light or MAGA. There's a lot of people who really don't have an opinion about politics. They don't follow it. They don't care about it. They don't read much news, follow politics. They don't know shit, right? They're just living their lives. This stuff doesn't interest them. But then they come to Thanksgiving and politics comes up. And now maybe they don't have much of an opinion about Donald Trump. They've heard things, but they don't really know. And then, they're sitting there as a bystander as the table turns to discussion of politics. And the only ones really talking are the MAGAs, who all think Trump is, the fucking greatest, the smartest, everything, right? They're full-on members of his cult. And so everything that comes out of their mouth is Trump's the greatest, this is the greatest thing, all that garbage. And so these people are just sitting there who don't really know much. And they look, and really the consensus, the political consensus around the table among these people who are my family, people whose opinions matter to me, I love these people. It seems that the political consensus is that Trump is great. Trump's the greatest president ever, because no one else is saying anything different. No one's challenging. When all these MAGAs are on the table, my uncle there, my father, my aunt, my sister, they're all saying how great Trump is, and nobody's disagreeing. So maybe Trump is great. Maybe when I hear criticisms of Trump in the press, that's all bullshit. Maybe that is just left-wing media, because all these people I care about, they all have the same opinion that Trump is the freaking greatest. So maybe I should think Trump's the greatest too. That's the problem. And it's not just at, in your family gatherings, but just in politics, generally speaking. When the only people who really are talking about politics are the MAGAs, because everybody else is like, okay, this is polite society, we're not going to talk politics or religion or personal finance, we're not going to do any of that shit. I'm not getting into it with the MAGAs, and so we just let them talk. The problem is, like I said, there's a lot of people who don't know anything. And if the only people they're hearing speak are the MAGAs praising Trump, and they don't hear any counter argument to Trump is the greatest president ever, that has an effect. That can cause people to think, you know what? Maybe Trump is pretty damn good. Because if he wasn't, then some of these other people around the table here would challenge what's being said, but nobody is, so I guess everybody agrees. That's the thing. Many people interpret a lack of pushing back for agreement, right? Oh, well, they're not saying anything, so they must agree with what's being said. So everybody around this table agrees that Trump is the greatest president ever. And I love these people, I respect these people. So, look, where do many people get their political ideas and where do they get their political beliefs? A lot of them get them from their family. If they're not otherwise interested in this stuff themselves and research and educate themselves outside of their family, and really it's a political discussion among their family is the only place they get this stuff, then this is how this is how these MAGAs can indoctrinate people. And by not challenging them when other people are around, you're actually helping MAGAs indoctrinate other people. And you sitting there being quiet because you don't want the problems, you're giving the impression, or you could be, I don't know the dynamic at your table, But you could be giving the impression to other impressionable people there at the table that you agree with your idiot MAGA uncle. Just something to consider. You do what you got to do. I'm just saying. A lot of these, I get it. A lot of these events, you're just like, okay, just want to have a good time. I don't want any shit. It's not worth it getting into it with these MAGAs. Just, let's just try to enjoy the day and not get into it with them. And so you keep your mouth shut. I totally get it. I'm just saying, you could be contributing to the young impressionable people at the table, contributing to them actually they may actually end up thinking that your idiot MAGA uncle is actually smart and you all agree with him. Just something to think about, because I'm sure you don't want to leave them with that impression. But whatever, you do what you got to do. But I always love hearing people's personal stories of their interactions with their idiot MAGA relatives, or how they deal with their MAGA relatives, or that kind of thing. So please leave a comment. Let me know your perspective. If you're seeing this after the event has taken place and you have some stories from what happened, please leave a comment. I really would be interested. Anyways, I gotta get going. Gonna be some new people at my Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going someplace else, and there's some people that I've never met before, so I don't exactly know what the fuck I'm getting into. Hopefully it won't be bad, but we'll see. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving. I'll talk to you again soon.